I don't want to be skinny anymore. Let me explain that. For a number of years, starting when I was 17, I had a really terrible eating disorder. Well, I had a couple. I suffered from anorexia and exercise bulimia. With anorexia, I would have an apple a day, and then for dinner, I'd have something like cereal. So I was super low on nutrients and energy. I couldn't even get through my high school courses. Eventually, I stopped attending a lot of classes. Thankfully, I guess I had just done enough legwork before then for that not to totally just demolish my college career, but it definitely hurt me. With exercise bulimia, I would exercise for hours a day. And anytime I felt like I'd had even a normal meal, I would punish myself almost by making sure that I was burning some crazy number of calories on an elliptical machine or a treadmill. And I was always tired. So I wasn't getting the nutrition I needed, and I was exercising way too much. This behavior followed me into college. And when I got to college, being pretty, being skinny, and this association that I had made between the two, because that is what our culture teaches girls and women, that skinny is pretty, and if you're not skinny, you don't have a shot at being pretty. It's slowly changing, but it was really entrenched then, and it's still very entrenched now. I continue this exercise bulimia, anorexia, and I always felt this sadness, this constant feeling of despair that I would never be thin enough. I would never be worthy. It wasn't until I did a lot of self-reflection that I realized it's not about being skinny. There was an emotional wound inside of me, and I had to heal that. And healing that helped me develop my self-worth. And when I had my self-worth, that noise from outside constantly telling me how I should look, what I should be like, it kind of got shushed. It was not as loud or as powerful as it used to be. And then I started hearing my own voice. What do you want to be? How do you want to live your life? How do you want to see yourself? And I think these are questions that are very revolutionary for anyone. And when I think of those questions as in the context of girls and women, them asking themselves these questions, I think it can really help us empower ourselves to take our power back from constant social messages that we will never be good enough, we will never be worthy, and we always have to look pretty or desirable for somebody else. Because that's not your worth as a person. You decide your worth, you decide who you are, what you bring to the table. It's not about walking down the street constantly thinking, does this person think I'm pretty? Does this person think I'm good enough? Does this person think I'm fat? This is a horrible way to live. And I know it because I lived it for a long time. And now I can say, I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to have the thigh gap. I don't want to have a narrow body. I can't. I'm South Asian. I got hips. But I want to look the way I want to look. I want to have some muscle mass. I want to be active. I want to look athletic. These are things I think I always wanted, but I told myself that being skinny was more important because that's the message I was getting from outside. So if there's anyone out there who's also struggling with body image, a good place to start is to ask yourself questions. Why do I feel this way? Where are these messages coming from? What do I want for myself? And it takes so much time. It took me well over a decade to get to a point where I can start taking control of my body, but it's so important to start that journey. It's not a straight line, but it is worth it.